Here we go.
Yes, people, welcome back to Catabolic Window. This is episode 80. You have got the boys back in your ears, just the boys. It's the reunion. We've had a couple of guests over the last couple of weeks, so those episodes will be drip feeded out to you. We wanted to get ahead on all of that. Jack's doing a sexy little dance for us, mate. You
I
should
am.
definitely go to a strip club.
Do a bit of burlesque.
A bit. What?
Burlesque.
What is that?
You know what burlesque is?
No?
It's like shit. I've got to explain it now. It's like a kind of strip show. I have to Google burlesque to explain it to you.
Can
It's
you
like
give me like an in-person demonstration?
it's like upmarket stripping. It's like on a stage. All the women wear like bowler hats and feather boas. It's kind of like 1950s y.
Right.
Um, yeah, what I went on holiday once with my girlfriend and her parents, and we went to a burlesque show, and we didn't quite realize what it was, and like halfway through, there were just like women running around like fully naked on the stage, and like I'm there like 18-year-old Jack with like 18-year-old Chloe, and like her two parents were like, oh my god, but yeah. Anyway,
That's
it was funny.
hilarious. That's not awkward at all.
Yeah, no, it was rough. It was rough, mate. It was fucking rough.
Did I notice you're drinking out of a Costa mug?
I am. This is Chloe's from when she used to work at Costa. It's actually got coffee in. This morning, while I was doing check-ins, I had Diet Coke in it. But
Weirdo.
today, well now, it's got decaf coffee in.
That's actually Diet Cola, by the way, mate. That's the
Sorry,
off-brand.
it's not actually Coke, yeah.
You should be. It sucks. I'm guessing that's instant coffee, right?
Of course, mate. Real coffee.
We'll discuss it. Please buy an AeroPress. I'll literally buy you one.
But I don't like...
It takes 2 minutes.
But thing is, I drink a lot of decaf, though. Can you have decaf fancy coffee?
Yeah,
Can
it's
you?
just the beans. You can get decaf beans
Oh, fair. I like...
and
Can you get
get
like
it full
flavoured
up.
ones? I thought about getting the coffee pods when I was dieting. Like the little flavored ones, the 0 calorie ones. I really,
The reason you like flavored coffee, mate, is because you drink shit coffee. You have nice coffee. It doesn't need to be flavored because it tastes good already.
thing is, I like coffee, but sometimes you want a milkshake, and that's what flavored coffee is. I was talking to
No,
a
because I'm not
client.
7.
I was talking to a client, um, and I was like, "What kind of coffee do you like?" And he's like, "I don't really like coffee, but I like a mocha or a frappe." And I was
That's an
like, "Then you
idiot.
just don't like coffee, mate. If you're saying, oh, I like coffee, I like a mocha and a frappe, nah, mate, you like milkshakes. A frappe is a fucking milkshake."
Mochas are banging, to be fair. If calories didn't
Yeah.
count, I would have a mocha every day.
Mate, I'd have a fucking frappe every day and a mocha every day.
Nah, frappes are overrated,
I
for
like
sure.
frappes, caramel frappes, but it's literally just like a coffee milkshake.
When I worked at Starbucks, one of the people there would make like 1,000 calorie frappe. It was insane.
Mate, yes, some of the fucking frappes people drink are ridiculous. I've got a
I'm
dog
not sure.
staring at me. Hey, bud.
Literally the ultimate bulking hack, mate. Speaking of Costa, I used to work at Starbucks, and I can comfortably say that it's better than Costa.
Yeah, um, I like
I thought
coffee.
that was going to be a bit more controversial.
Nah, sorry. I think we can all agree it's Nero on the bottom, then Costa, then Starbucks. You put in Nero above Costa.
Nero, Starbucks, Costa,
Bruv, you're
because
backwards. Are you
no,
a
because
mum?
Costa's always taste burnt. Starbucks is decent depending upon who makes it,
Okay,
but
that's
to be
true.
honest, I would only trust myself. And then Nero is just like for the vibes.
Nah, I don't like Nero. To be
Nero's
fair
got the
though, the amount of times I've gone to Costa or Starbucks and they've butchered my drink because it's not their fault, but like every Sunday I'll go and I'll see my mum in the local Costa where I live. I'm not going to dox myself, but we go to Costa and some weeks there's like some new 16-year-old behind the fucking like baristering that day, and you give them your order and you're like, oh, don't fuck it up, please. And then you get it and you're like, oh, I remember one time Chloe got, I think it was a frappe and there was literally like no whipped cream in it. It was like just,
That's good.
just milk. It wasn't like caramel. It was literally just like, she drank it. She was like, this is just fucking milk. I don't even think they put coffee in it. And we just didn't say anything.
The good thing about a frappe, though, to be fair, is that you could just scoop, like, say you put cream on top of it and you put something wrong in it, you just scoop the cream off, chuck it in the bin, and then bang the frappe back in the blender. You don't have to like remake the drink,
Damn.
and it works fine. Yeah, we did that so many times.
Mate, I bet. I wish I'd
Not
worked
that
as
I
a
ever
barista.
made the drink wrong. It was just that customers like decided they ordered the wrong thing.
Oh,
After,
mate.
like, what you
Fucking
doing?
Chloe used to barista. She goes on about, like, she used to go on about fucking customers ordering stupid shit all the fucking time. I'm trying to think of some examples. I should write them down and send them to you because some of them will really make you laugh. I think the main one is like people ask for like different sizes of a flat white.
Yeah, that one's banging. You're like, no, no, it's a flat white is a certain size because
Yeah,
of the ratio of milk to coffee.
exactly.
Unless you want to buy like 4 extra shots and put it in a medium.
I try and think. Oh, mate, there were some other
We
ones.
could
I can't.
just we could just do a fucking if you want the texture of the milk to be the same, you can just blend it for less time. But it's not the same thing.
Damn. Yeah, people asking for like extra hot or extra dry
Extra
or
dry is hilarious, mate, because they're always such snobs. And
yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
my milk isn't burnt. I like my milk burnt. Please burn it more.
Mate, I literally some people's coffee orders are fucking outrageous. This used to happen all the time. I don't know if did your Starbucks do Deliveroos and shit like that?
No, we did, but never really got any of them.
Mate, we Chloe's Costa used to do Deliveroos all the time, but like because where we live is proper fucking Ponzi. People up their own arse. They'll order a Costa, a coffee, and a sandwich through Deliveroo. It'll arrive at their house 20 minutes later. They get some kind of call or some kind of feedback on it. It was cold. No fucking shit. You
That's
ordered a
joke.
coffee for takeout. There's like some poor lad on his bike in winter, like trying his best to keep a coffee and a sandwich warm, and he's got a bike like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. By the time it's been made, collected, and taken to your door, it's gonna be why the fuck are you ordering
That's so
takeaway coffee?
funny, man. Imagine being that lazy, bro.
Bruv, it's ridiculous. It's actually fucking ridiculous.
Insane.
And they're
Oh,
already expensive. I got a ham and cheese toasty with Chloe the other day.
it's
Um,
robbery.
mate, yeah, I was like, oh, I've got some. I knew roughly how many calories my meal was, and I
Yeah.
was like, right, without if I get my protein in, I've got this many calories to play with. I could get in a small brownie. We could split a brownie, and I could get in a ham and cheese toasty. But if I bought it, it'd be like 15 quid with a drink. Oh, pff, get
That's
out of here!
joke.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Eat the ham and cheese toasty in 2 bites. It would only be half a brownie. Eat that in 1 bite, and then you're like sick. That's like 15 quid. Come on, cool. Fuck it, man. Oh,
Yeah,
boring.
mate, they're so expensive. It's jarring. Right, should we get into some actual useful stuff? That was about
Man, this
seven.
is this is useful. Yeah, go on. Fine.
Let us know in the comments your favorite coffee shop and why.
Yeah, tag us in your stories and comment whose team are you on with instant coffee as well.
It's definitely not. Yeah, I figured this out as well, mate. I could spend right £3 on a nice bag of coffee that's literally going to do me for 3 weeks,
Mm.
or I could buy one coffee from Starbucks.
Yeah, but that's like, mate, coffee. The markup on coffee is ridiculous, though. Like
It's
for buying it out. You know,
yeah,
did you ever get that advice when you started coaching of like, oh, it's less than a cup of coffee a day. It's less than getting a coffee a day.
yeah.
People used to use that all the time as marketing.
Mate,
It's
I
like,
saw. I saw this was hilarious, right?
yeah,
You remember, you know Ben Shepherd?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he posted this, and like the quote of it, my coach is less than a cup of coffee a day, and he puts underneath it, yeah, I've seen the quality of your coaching, and I'd rather have the fucking coffee, thanks.
That's too funny,
That was so good, man.
mate. It's as the thing is that I never understood is there's not going to be anyone out there who's going to Costa or Starbucks daily to buy a cup of coffee who's then saying I'm strapped for cash. Like I don't
Yeah,
think you can be that unaware of money that every single day you go and spend a fiver on a drink, and then you're like, man, I'm just so broke. Like I'm sure someone, to be fair, someone out there is going to prove me wrong. Uni students, I know you guys are fucking animals.
I remember when the Pret subscription came out, and there was like literally a line of 30 people
Really.
like waiting to queue for Pret. I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
Bruv, bruv. The thing is, though, it loses its factor as a treat. Like I might get usually a rest day is like where I might go work in a coffee shop, and I can get myself a nice little drink, and that's quite nice. It's a nice little treat. But I can't imagine like getting a coffee from Starbucks or Costa every day because you like you'd burn through cash and you just get so used to it. It just gets so normal and dead. Surely. I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking weirdo. Should we? Okay, let's talk about something useful and interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, we've literally burned through 9 minutes on coffee, mate.
Oh yeah, burn it like the fucking milk in your
So,
coffee.
what the last proper time we spoke was before you went on holiday. So, how was that?
Holiday was good. I had no clients drop off, which was very exciting. I was very scared. It's my first actual time off in 4 years. All other holidays I've worked, and this was the first one where I thought I'll take time off because if I don't, I literally won't have a holiday because like I work a lot, so I would just be like in the fucking Airbnb working the whole day if I didn't take time off. It was good. I came back exactly, I think it was 0.2 pounds heavier, 100 grams, which is unreal. So very well managed. Had a great time, and I feel a lot better for it. And I was definitely very burnt out from training and from working so much, so it was nice to break away from that, and I feel a lot more refreshed. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Sounds like positives all around, mate. And you didn't
Yeah.
come back fat, right?
I didn't. 100 grams up. I was really fucking happy. Really happy. Um, like the holiday before that, I was really pleased with. That was 2 pounds up. But literally like just absolutely like basically within a margin of error, bang on the same body weight. Um, yeah, so really fucking pleased. Things were managed very well from me, and so yeah, I am happy.
Yeah, I think the last like 2, 3 holidays I've gone on, I've literally come back like 2, 3 pounds lighter. And
I've
I'm
never
like,
come back lighter, but I've
and
never.
every time I'm like, I've eaten too much shit. And I come back like 3 pounds lighter. It's
the,
fucking.
I've never I've never been on a holiday where I'm like peak food or near peak food.
Okay.
Like they
Mine used
always yeah, they because they seem to be around the same time of year, and that seems to be like pretty much just in the start of the reverse is or just in the start of the initial like push back up is when I seem to be going on holiday. I think I could easily lose weight on holiday if I was like peak push up because my appetite is just so far below where my food is. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I'll have to do one time, but it's usually when I'm like pretty fucking lean or dieting or actively dieting. That's when I go away.
what you said there about within a margin of error is so fucking key
Mm.
because you're like, I would expect for there to be, 100, way more than 100 grams of difference day to day.
Yeah,
So that's absolutely fine.
easily.
Like I had a client the other day sort of asked me because he went over his calories one day and then the next day he was like a pound lighter.
Mm.
He's like, how does that work? I ate more food.
Mm. Fluctuation.
Yeah,
You could talk
like
about stress and water, but realistically, it's probably just going to be fluctuation.
yeah, it's insane the amount that people can fluctuate. Like, and if you, I always think like when people just do like weekly weigh-ins, they weigh in once per week, that you've got fucking no idea what's going on because one day it might be a high fluctuation and one day it might be a low fluctuation, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I've lost fucking loads of weight this week, and then next week you're actually back to the high one because it's another fluctuation. You're like, oh fuck, nothing's happened.
I think people view it as like height. They view weight as similar to height in that like you you can
That's hilarious.
like because you can describe yourself as a height. Like I'm 5'9". I'm pretty much always 5'9". Like it doesn't change. I'm 5'9". But ask me how much I weigh and I'll be like, do you want the average? Do you want today? Do you want yesterday? Do you want like where it roughly the range that it sits in? Like you have high, medium and low days, and over time what you consider high, medium and low will change. So for me right now a high weigh-in is like 195 pounds or something. Eventually that's like a rare high weigh-in that I get. That will eventually get more and more common, And then it will get to the point where I'm starting to see 196, I'm starting to see 197. I'm still seeing 195, but I'm seeing it less. And then we start to see 196 and 197 more frequently. It's like you will see a variety of numbers and they will gradually shift upwards or downwards. And it will get to the point where I'm so heavy that I never see 195. And that would now be a really low weigh-in. And a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't see 195 at all. That'd be a very high weigh-in for me. So you just, like you'll sit within a range of numbers and you'll slowly see you'll see the same numbers but just less and less frequently, and averages will trend. I see that all the time with clients being like, oh, my body weight's stalled, and I'll be like, yeah, but look at your weekly average, like it's come down drastically, so that tells us everything that we need to know. And what's the worst case scenario that comes from us not making any changes? Okay, you spend 1 week being the same body weight. I think a lot of people are scared to do that now, is like have a week in a cut or in a gaining phase where they're like, oh, I didn't actively lose or gain any weight. And it's like, well, you don't need to. Like, if you're in a dieting phase, why are you in a rush to get yourself into a shit position by running food low or cardio high? If you're in a gaining phase, okay, well, your lift still progressed, you're still feeling good, it's not as if you're too lean, so why do you feel you have to gain every single week? Nothing wrong with not.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't progress at all because your weight didn't move a little bit.
Exactly.
What happens with a lot of people is that, well, me, for example, I will drop like a pound and hit a new low, and then it will be like up and down a tiny bit for a couple of days, and then it will drop again.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. I think
and it's not like that one day before where it dropped, I lost more fat that day.
Yeah. Really, really important to mention that. People view it in such a short-term way of like, oh, a new low, I must have done something different yesterday. It's like,
stuck to the plan for the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think people are too reactive and compare scale weight on too short of a timeline. For me, when I gain, like, my food has not changed for the past few weeks, and I've gained like 2-3 pounds. And there were a few times where scale weight stalled, and me and Tom were like, do we want to add more food? But nah, give it more time. And then guess what? Following the same plan, scale weight goes up. And I know that happens from previous gaining phases. And Tom now sees that happens. And so we know what to expect. I think understanding how your scale weight works is also pretty important. For me, when I'm dieting, if scale weight is holding, I'm usually too fatigued. Give me a lie-in, give me a rest day, give me more food, chill me out, and you'll see that drop. In a gaining phase, give it 2 weeks of me stalling to double check that I've stalled, because the amount of times that I flatline and then bump is crazy. Like, it seems to happen quite a lot, and that's normal for my kind of gaining phases. But it's not as if I've suddenly got fat overnight. I've literally eaten the same thing as I have for the past few weeks. It's just how scale weight responds.
It's crazy the difference that it can have for sure. Yeah. So how much am I down actually since? What was I before you went away? So yeah, before you went away, last time you probably updated the diet, I would have been 160, like high something. I don't know.
Yeah, high 160s, low 170s, something like that.
Although I've either forgot to weigh in today or I forgot what I weighed, which is always handy. But yeah, I've been like 161-ish this week.
Nice, mate. I think the key thing with like any rate of loss as well, if you want to kind of see how productive it is, there's the on paper rate of loss, and then there's the subjective feedback of how you're feeling, how you're performing, and also the subjective feedback of how you look. Like, if say if you lost 2 pounds but visuals are drastically different, you might be pretty content with that. Whereas if you've dropped 2 pounds, nothing's really changed, hunger's still pretty low, you're feeling in a decent spot, training's still not really affected, then cool, you have more room to push. I think a lot of people like to get very caught up in numbers. I don't know how many times people ask you this, but they're like, what's the ideal rate of loss or rate of gain? And I can give you the classic percentage answer, but the real answer is what makes the most sense. A lot of coaching is just looking at what's in front of you, piecing it all together, and being able to justify an answer. Like, you might have 2 clients in front of you who've lost the same amount of weight, percentage wise, but the way that you respond to that is going to be completely different person to person, just depending on subjective feedback. Like, Even if you've just got a client who's like, oh, I just had a bit of a shit week, you might just hold off making changes for that week just so that it's less overwhelming. Or you might have someone who their response to a shit week is they find solace in the process. And so by giving them that positive feedback of pushing scale weight a little bit quicker can kind of keep them involved and give them their sanity. So a lot of coaching is very much like just understanding people and like the subjective as well as the objective. I think a lot of people get lost in that.
Yeah, like scale weight is almost £15 down, and then I'm like still progressing, looking better, which is I'm actually going to post an update on tomorrow, I think it is.
Good.
But yeah, like clearly solid visual changes there, which is what you want.
Yeah, man, exactly. And the thing is, the fact that like you and Kieran, your coach, Kieran Colbert, shout out, big man. We have to get him on the pod at some point. We'll pester him on. But the fact that you're £15 down and everything's green lights across the board means you could probably go quicker. You could probably push harder. Like a lot of people might hear £15 in however many weeks has it been. Are you able to show me with your fingers or something?
Like 6.
6 weeks, yeah, £15 in 6 weeks sounds pretty fucking quick. And it is, but you're feeling good, and I think again people get that fear of people are more scared of things going wrong than things actually go wrong. You know, if you said you're going to lose £15 in 6 weeks, some people might be like, "Don't do that, you'll lose muscle." It's like, well, he's not.
I mean, I've progressed every week, so
Yeah. Mate, have you ever had it where people ask you how much you're losing and they'll be like, how much muscle do you think you lost? And you'll be like, well, fucking none, because I've progressed on my lifts. Like, what do you mean, how much muscle do you think I've lost? It's my favourite question.
I mean, I don't know if I've got that one actually, but that is quite funny.
Yeah, someone asked me a couple of days ago, they were like, I was talking about like one of my fastest diets before, and they were like, how much muscle did you lose? And I was like, none, I progressed everything. If I started losing muscle, do you not think I would slow the rate of loss? I wouldn't just keep cracking on. I'd be like, yeah, look at me, let's pull off kilos of muscle. Like, no, fuck that.
The atrophy protocol, regressive underload.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to say that. That's
What were
don't
you
worry.
going to say?
No, nothing. I'll say afterwards. It's all good.
Uh-oh.
I've got a few questions.
Yeah.
That I think would be good to run through.
Okay.
So first one is, what's most important for muscle building out of these three? We've got the number of repetitions, the tempo of your lifting, and 3 is the weight. Out of those 3, can you order a 3? So weight, tempo, reps.
Okay. Reps is at the bottom.
Okay. Yep.
Then I'm gonna say
It's hard, isn't it?
the weight and the tempo.
Yeah. It's hard because weight almost implies intensity.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't really, but
Yeah.
tempo
You can
implies,
conflate the two things.
yeah, tempo implies control, but it doesn't imply intensity. Reps, yeah, 100% reps are at the bottom. Like 5 to 30, you can't. I think it's difficult because there's no mention of intensity. I'd probably have to go tempo over weight, because even if we just manipulated tempo, you could probably make any set failure.
I don't know if you've ever had that where like you're limited onto like the weight of the dumbbells or something like that, and you've got to go less than you normally would, and you're like you do a few more reps, and then you actively make the form like just fucking hurt.
Yeah, it's literally, that's what I'm doing with my knee rehab at the minute. Is my goal is to almost match sets on paper or lose weight on paper if I can maintain reps by adjusting my form. So like, let's say I split squat like 30 kilos for 10. My goal is to do 30 kilos for 10 or just about fail at 11. Like, my goal is to repeat what I did but hit failure right at the end of the set.
Right. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
How's the knee rehab going?
It's all right, a bit up and down. It does currently hurt today. And it is legs today, so I'm gonna have to take the quad workout, which is annoying. It is what it is. The issue currently, like I said, is just inflammation under my kneecap. So it's been a lot of like ibuprofen gels, a lot of not going into extreme ranges of motion. Two things that I found work really, really well for me currently is leg
Taking more
extensions.
steroids.
Is what?
Taking more steroids.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Just more gear. Leg extensions, because they don't load it into deep. They don't really load deep knee flexion. I'm fortunate enough to have access to Prime Kit, so I can pretty much load it in the middle of the rep, which seems to be best. Like where the profile, if I can make the profile a bit more congruent, knee seems to be happier. And split squats, not Bulgarians, standard split squats, because if you think about the range of motion that you're able to achieve, when your knee touches the floor, it's not actually that deep compared to, say, a squat or a leg press movement. And because lunges are quite difficult and you can't really load them that heavy, particularly dumbbell based, that manages that load really well for me. So there's not a lot of torque going through the knee and there's not a lot of load that I'm carrying. Whereas, as you can imagine, if I went on a hack squat, there's going to be a lot of torque, a lot of forward knee travel, and the load that I can use to get a good set is going to be far, far higher. So split squats and leg extensions have been working really, really well.
I heard if you do lunges in the car park, it builds more muscle.
It's true, yeah. In the fucking what gym did Ronnie train at? With
Metroflex.
yeah, Metroflex, one plate aside, barbell on your back,
Yeah, yeah.
and then just throw it when you're not near failure. Just when you've decided your set is done, just pick it up and throw it.
When you hit 10 reps.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you're done, bro. What do you mean?
It's not fun.
We've got top 5 monsters.
What? There's too many.
All right.
You're basically just saying what are the good flavors there.
Top
Top 3. Yeah. Top 3. Lewis Hamilton has the crown.
Yeah.
What a legend. If they ever discontinue that, I'm going to cry. The original flavor one, so like the blue one or the green one, I swear they taste the same.
Yeah.
And then Rosa, it just edges out the white one for me.
Interesting. I'm going to say Hamilton is on top.
Yeah, yeah.
Would I put blue second? No, I'm going to put blue third just to be different. And then my second place is going to go to recently Peachy Keen.
It's not as good as Rosa.
But the thing is, though, then I've got 2 peach flavors because Hamilton's like part peach, part something else, and Peachy Keen is peach.
Yeah.
I like the apple one as well. Shout out to the apple.
What one is that?
The green one.
Is that? Oh, fuck off.
You don't like it?
That's some Dan Park suggestions.
Nah, I rate the green one.
He loves the Paradise one. It's grim. I love apple, but that one is grim. The rain sour apple is elite.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I've got a corner shop across the road. I get a monster every day from there. I wish they had rains in
You've
there.
still not started bulk buying.
No, I definitely should. The thing is, though, mate, I think I'd fly through them. I think I'd definitely be like, oh, I'll just have 2 monsters today, and then I'd be like, oh,
and then you spend more money on monsters.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, oh, it's a busy work day. I'll have an extra monster. Oh, it's leg day. I'll have an extra monster. Oh, it's the day after leg day.
On that day, man. It just makes me feel sick.
Really?
Because they're just sat in your stomach. You just feel bloated.
The thing is, you're not hungry. I'm hungry. So nothing sits in my stomach.
I'm getting hungry now.
Nothing sits in my stomach. It's like after an hour after eating or drinking, I'm empty.
Ooh.
Yeah. Still battling with the hunger demons.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is fine. Is what it is. I expect to be. I'm still pretty lean. My face isn't, which is fine. My face is just normal. But
fat prick.
Yeah. No more getting fat anymore. For now. Post prep, that push up will probably be quite heavy, but we'll see.
Fair.
Oh,
how far?
yeah.
Still a while.
What's that?
Prep. Your prep's still a while away, isn't it?
Yeah. Starts in March. I don't know if there'll be another pre-prep diet.
Probably going to be about the same time as me, to be fair.
Yeah.
Huh?
The goal is condition, and we don't really want to go too far above 200 pounds currently, so 90 kilo. We'll see what the condition looks like, but like the kind of current vague plan is to do a bit of like a Luke Harper. It's like take as much time as possible to get to 200, and then just recomp aggressively at 200.
Right.
And then in terms of pre-prep diet, doing another one, we'll see. There might be another tidy up on the way.
It might just be like a quick mini cut type of thing.
Yeah, just kind of like maybe even like just pulling off 10 pounds. So we've just got 10 pounds less to do in prep, or even 5.
That's like a week's work. You could do that easy.
But
last all week.
we'll see. We'll see. But
How much muscle do you think you'd lose if you did that though?
what, £10 in a week? Shit, man. To be fair, probably none. I don't think you'd lose any. It's only a week.
It'd be
I,
alright.
I don't think I could lose £10 in a week. That'd be what, like 35,000 calorie deficit across the week. So
Yeah,
5,000 calorie deficit every day. I don't think I could create that.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's rough.
That
That's
is rough.
like, yeah, negative 2,000 calories I'd have to be eating. So I'd probably eat like 1,000. So I need to burn like 3,000 a day. I don't think that's going to happen, mate. I don't think
That's
that's going to happen.
don't do that. That's a really bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Right.
even in the RFL, wouldn't happen.
What other questions have we got?
We've got, are heavy metals a concern if I'm eating a lot of fish? Is a fantastic question.
Fuck off.
You don't think so?
Just eat some tuna. You'll be fine, mate.
The thing is, it's. I'd say it depends on
If you're having it every day, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's the frequency and the amount that's the dose is the poison with anything like this. Like, as long as you're not consuming like a crazy amount, you'll be fine. I normally say like a tin a day. Don't go over that. You'll be fine.
Fair. I have tuna as like a backup. So like if it somehow falls that I need to meal prep both my meals on the same day,
Mm.
I'll have like tuna for one of those meals.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
And then
that.
I'll have it the next day.
The thing is, like, a lot of shit contains heavy metals, and heavy like your the amount of heavy metals that you have is based off of like a daily intake. So if you're under that for a significant period of time, you've almost banked some heavy metals that you could eat.
I can just
So
go to the gym and just start chewing on some plates.
yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You can get like if it's a real concern for you, um, then you can get like low mercury tuna, you can get low mercury fish, like shit like that does exist. But as long as you're not like eating tuna every single meal, you got an active, healthy lifestyle, eating your fruit and your veggies, and you're doing your cardio, you'll be absolutely fine.
Low mercury just gives me like the same vibes as like high protein bread. God, like this is such a scam.
Yeah, even like low mercury is still like not great, but again, it's you just gotta like you gotta pick your poison. If you're low on time or you're low on finances and you really like tuna, and ultimately tuna is going to help you stick to a meal plan, I'd say you could make an argument that you're going to be healthier by eating the tuna because it's going to help you stick to your nutrition, and that can help you stick to your training, and that can help you overall live a healthier lifestyle. So
Yeah.
I think it's something that a lot of people like to over concern themselves with. Unless you're going nuts on the tuna, I wouldn't stress it too much.
I, it, it's one of those things that I really don't think is one of the big rocks that
Yeah,
people
no,
worry.
it's not a big rock. It's not.
They'll like what they'll worry about that, but then they'll like still be having shit sleep.
Yeah,
And it's
uh,
like no, sleep is as important as like fucking going to the gym.
yeah, yeah. Or people, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to eat too much tuna because of the heavy metals, and then they're chronically under consuming protein. It's like, well, the benefit of tuna is that it's high in protein. It's got fatty acids in it. Like the fat in tuna is pretty damn good. So you could make a case that yeah, there's the trade-off of like the slight amount of mercury in it, but you gain a lot from the protein and from the fat content in it. So again, it's like sometimes we you can't just say, oh, don't have tuna, instead have a steak. It's like not everyone can do that. Not everyone is in a position where they can just make that swap. So
Yeah, but
there's a lot
carnivore,
of
bro.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of benefits to tuna. Yeah, there's a couple drawbacks, but again, sometimes those pros outweigh those cons. Like people love to think of tuna as just oh that thing that has mercury in it. No, it's also a high protein fish, which is fantastic. Like that's incredibly healthy for you. So yeah, there's a lot of there's pros and cons. Nutrition's never black and white. There's no good foods or bad foods. There's just good situations and bad situations, and ideal quantities and non-ideal quantities, and that's pretty much how it goes.
It blows my mind how long it lasts.
What do you mean?
Like canned tuna. Leave it in there, it's fine.
Yeah,
Like, why can't you can chicken? I'm gonna Google it.
I bet you can. Wait, pun intended.
Oh.
Pre-cooked chicken. What?
What? How is that? How is that an appropriate? The predictive question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But why? Why can't you can like? I just written can,
Yeah.
as in can do.
Yeah.
And the first thing that comes up is, why can't you have sex after a C-section?
What the fuck? Jesus Christ. I think
This is
that's a pretty
hilarious.
obvious answer as well.
Yeah,
It's gonna
you're
be
gonna
a little bit.
fuck it up.
You're gonna. Fuck it now. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it won't be able to heat it high enough, because it's a low acid food.
Oh, there you
Apparently,
go. Interesting.
yeah. You can beef, can't you? That's what spam is.
Yeah, and I think
But it's also
fish is a
disgusting. So
common one. You can get a lot of canned fish or tinned fish, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
yeah, you can get canned salmon as well.
Yeah, that's outrageous. I can't imagine having canned salmon though. It does feel a
You
little
could,
bit. I don't want to be an Eddie Abu, but it does sound weird. It does feel weird eating fish out of a can.
it's the same as tuna, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I still feel like it still feels weird. It still feels weird.
Yeah.
Eating
He's
tuna
just
doesn't
getting
though.
like more and more extreme. He's running out of ideas. It's so funny.
Oh, fucking Eddie Abu, bruv.
You see, the other day he was banging on about why you should eat honey, and then like you literally scroll back like 2 months, and he's like, "Don't eat honey, it's shit."
I
I'm like,
just,
what?
I, I just don't understand where he gets it from.
Just probably makes it up, mate.
It is just pure like his weird little ideology around food and like intuition. He's just like,
I
oh,
love how he's just like, look at the ingredients. It's my favorite thing ever.
yeah, but just say the same thing back to him. Like, why don't you look at the fucking ingredients? Because he clearly doesn't.
Yeah, it's
It's
funny.
ridiculous, mate. I think the thing that annoys me the most is that he's like ruined so many people's relationship with food. And I see it all the time, like all the fucking time. People terrified of like, but it for some reason it never seems to go that way with alcohol. The amount of times I've seen people where they're like, "Oh, I don't eat that. That's so processed," and then you see them on a night out and they're drinking like an espresso martini. It's like you're going to put something that is literally a poison in your body. By the way, that's fine if you want to drink, but if you're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't have protein shakes. They're bad for you," and then go and drink a literal poison, fuck off.
Alcohol's the only thing that people assume you have a problem if you don't do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
true.
oh, mate, did you see the study I shared on my private story? Mental Henceman's post about how eating junk food during pregnancy could impact the child's like food habits.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, mate, I was like, that's fucking fascinating. Because
That's
obviously
interesting.
everyone's like, right, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs while you're pregnant. Maybe not eating like a piece of shit should probably go in there as well.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's fascinating.
yeah.
I also heard a hilarious joke. I was watching a podcast about Ozempic, and the guy's like, "Do you know the only thing that's better than Ozempic for fat loss?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Communism. All of those fuckers died." That's hilarious. That got me.
Mate, Ozempic's been getting
How have
some.
we gone from monsters to? Oh no, you did ask a question about canned food, didn't you?
Yeah, mate, Ozempic's been getting some real hype recently, especially with like different celebrities, and yeah, it's interesting. I think it's interesting that it's now getting its attention. It's been
I
around
wonder
for.
if it will turn out to be like good or turn out to be like DNP.
I think
Because the receptors it acts on, you've also got them in your brain as well.
yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Nice.
Yeah. I the thing is with anything that is that effective because like I've heard stories and I've heard like it's very fucking effective. Like it's a real appetite suppressant. With anything that effective, there's always going to be some kind of drawback. There almost certainly has to be like your your body undergoes certain processes for a reason. If you're able to really effectively alter them, it's probably going to come with something else for the most part. That's not always true, but usually when it comes to pharmaceuticals, you have your scalpels or your sledgehammers, and the sledgehammers work fucking great, but they cause a lot of damage. Whereas the scalpels you'll barely notice, but there's not a lot of side effects or issues that come alongside that.
Yeah. The other thing as well is like if you've got someone that's comfort ate for a long period of time and that's like helped them feel better about whatever shit that's gone on in their past. They then lost the weight and they're like, oh, this should solve all my problems. And then they're like, okay, now I can't eat food to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
So now I just feel even fucking worse. And then the other one is
Yeah.
like
Cool.
people that have got eating disorders getting hold of it. Like if you,
Yeah.
because obviously telemedicine is fucking massive now.
Mm.
Like, I don't know if you can prescribe that shit online. You can't really assess how well somebody is at risk of an eating disorder just fucking through Zoom, unless they've
Yeah.
literally got a Skeletor face. But
Yeah. I think the thing is as well, like the thing that people forget is it's hunger signaling, but it's not craving, and it's not going to do anything for a relationship with food. Like a lot of people who have like binge disorders are used to ignoring hunger signaling, and it's not going to be a case of like, oh, I'm hungry so I eat. It's I want to eat that and enjoy it and taste it. And I think even if you take someone like that and you give them Ozempic and it's like, great, now you don't want to eat a salad and you don't want to eat chicken because you're not actually really hungry. You won't just eat anything that comes your way. Now you're just craving. And now you just want these foods. Probably it'll decrease your cravings as well. But like, say if something stressful did happen, you're still going to be like, oh, I'll turn to the chocolate. And then those people again that kind of tend to binge, that's going to be a whole different thing. So
it's like it's helped with the calorie control thing, but it hasn't. It's not really helping with the not eating like shit thing.
yeah, I think the
Which,
biggest drawback.
having one less problem to deal with might help do the other thing. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you're less hungry, cravings are easier to manage. But I think for bodybuilding, it's not going to have too much of a place because there's still a baseline amount of food that we always need to eat. And making that more difficult to eat isn't a good idea. But also, if you make it so easy to eat not a lot, I think then your issues become fatigue. Like, the issue with a prep is fatigue management. It's not really hunger management. Like, hunger is
yeah,
doable.
if you want it bad enough, you'll just be hungry.
Yeah, but also to an extent, like there's stuff you can do. Like people have been managing hunger for a long time. Like soft drinks exist, fucking caffeine exists, vape exists, like nicotine exists. Like I've known a lot of people around me like recently go into prep, and they're like, yeah, it's not really the hunger. You kind of find a way around it with like veg and fruit and just kind of adjusting to it. And after a while, you don't really feel it anymore. It's more so it's more so that feeling of like just pure fatigue. You're just absolutely fucked. You're just mashed. And for me in the diet, that was what it was. It wasn't like I wanted more food, not because I wanted more food. It was because I just wanted to feel normal. I just wanted to not feel like shit. And I think if you have Ozempic, it's going to be really hard to eat enough to feel functional.
Not feeling like shit is always ideal.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much, yeah. That's the goal. Except for in prep. In prep, that is the goal, is to feel like shit. Let's go.
Yeah. Ideally, the worse you feel, the better you look.
True. So true, mate. Just feel awful. Just don't eat. Yippee!
Right. Should we bring this one home?
We should indeed. Thank you everyone for listening to another classic episode with me and Luke. We've got some guests coming on in 2 weeks' time. Got some other people on the radar. By the time this is out, you should have seen the J Freaky podcast and I believe the Bees podcast as well. I'm not sure what order we're going to release them in.
Nah, do this one.
You want to do this one, then J Freaky, then Bees, or what?
I don't know. Did you post one yesterday?
No.
Okay. Do one of the guest ones or something. Oh, no, this one will probably be ready by then. Yeah, probably do this one and then.
All right. So you've got J Freaky and Bees.
We'll be listening to it, so you already know.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that because this is for us to figure out. We're in the past as far as you're concerned with this.
We're literally time traveling.
Exactly, mate. And then we've also got a classic pod come in at some point as well with both Dan and John, which will be exciting. And yeah, if you want to find us on Instagram, coaching, it is LacticAddictLuke. He's PTing as well, so I'm sure you've got some spaces there. So if you're interested in PT or coach, please message him. If you're after coaching from myself, it's JackArcherCoaching, or if you're after becoming a coach in education and my academy, yada yada yada, it's the same Instagram page. Follow us on Instagram, tag us in your stories, send us free things if you want to be a good person. Thanks for watching. Any final words of wisdom, mate?
Preferably free drugs.
Yeah, free drugs would be great. And we can either take them or sell them. Thanks very much for listening. Goodbye.